Hello, and welcome to a sneak peek of Disrupt, Color Zoom 2016. My name is Nicole Walden, and I'm so excited to share this collection with you today. Today, I'm going to walk you through the concepts behind this year's Color Zoom, as well as show you two of the looks that help to make up this year's collection. Today, you're going to see Emma and Caroline pre-done, but I'm going to walk you through how I achieve these looks, as well as try to give you some pointers as to how to create these looks yourself and to make it easier for you in the salon on your day-to-day clients. So what do you think when you hear the word disrupt? For me, I think of something that is very solid or neutral that has actually been broken up or interrupted by something else. This year's collection, we are shaking up the status quo and we are challenging expectations. These concepts are going to be of odd marriages or odd combinations that you will see throughout the looks. These help to make unique and powerful looks, but they're soft enough that you can integrate these into your salon life with your day-to-day clients. You're also going to see these concepts flow through the fashion looks, the cutting, and the coloring techniques. So you can also follow along in your hairstylist guide of Color Zoom 2016. This is our lookbook that is going to feature every single look in the collection, as well as the formulations that were used to achieve these looks and the color techniques and cutting techniques. You can also use your Goldwell app that creates a 3D image off of the page to help give you a much better view of the different, maybe hard to see or hard to reach places when you're trying to achieve these looks. So let's break down the color and the cutting techniques of Disrupt Color Zoom 2016. So with the cutting techniques, we're going to see rounded or curved shapes that have blunt lines. Then you're also going to see them disrupted by either cutouts, whether it be around the fringe or different around the ears, or you're going to see different texturizing techniques, whether it be some slicing or deep point cutting. These are going to help create some weightless volume and a lot of movement that will help showcase the beautiful color techniques that you're going to see within the collection as well. So with the color techniques, we used 3 different techniques that are called light play. So with these light play techniques, they were placed on the round of the head shapes in triangular sections. So if you can imagine a light source that is shining from within to disrupt these shapes and create very vibrant yet powerful looks. So these light sources are what's going to disrupt our rich neutral backgrounds. Okay, so again, with the color, as I mentioned, we're going to have these deep neutral backgrounds disrupted by vibrant colors. So let's take a look at some of the colors that were created for Color Zoom 2016. So there was no new colors that were made. They took colors that were already in our Goldwell portfolio and just combined them to create these very powerful yet enriched colors. So you're going to see a combination of cool and warm tones that were expertly proportioned to not neutralize each other out, but yet play off each other so you create these beautiful looks. So as you can see here in your hairstylist guide, we have a deep neutral chestnut, a deep neutral sienna, a deep neutral taupe, deep neutral coffee, deep neutral twilight, as well as deep neutral pearl. So also, we have the disruptive colors are going to be used with our Illumine shades. And again, there was no new shades created. We just took some of the existing colors in our Illumine portfolio, combined them expertly and very proportional to create these new vibrant shades that are going to create impact in these looks. So as you can see here, we have disruptive yellow, disruptive pink, a disruptive orange red, disruptive green, and disruptive blue. All of these formulations again are going to be underneath the colors themselves, so you can recreate these yourself or even take these concepts and create your own disruptive or deep neutral colors for your looks. So let's go back to the light play techniques that were used within our color techniques. So first we have our laser technique. This is going to be the boldest technique out of the three. And as you can see here, we have tapped in our background shade, and then it's feathered down slightly, and then we take our disruptive color, this one being blue, and we're going to paint it from the mid shafts down to the ends, and then it's going to be feathered into the base color. We don't want to see any harsh lines left, or any, we're not creating any shine lines here. We want to create a softness blend between the base color into the spotlight shade, or the laser shade, I'm sorry. So the next one is going to be our spotlight. So this one is going to use two colors, as well as it can be done in two different ways. I have showcased here the vertical placement of this color technique. So here again, we're going to have our base color that was feathered in, and then we took our yellow and feathered it vertically down the hair shaft, and then took our orange-red and feathered that in between the yellow. And again, they are very softened together, but you still see the distinction of the colors. You can also do this technique horizontally, where again, you would tap in your base color, feather it down slightly, and then we would take our yellow color first, take it from the baseline where we feathered it down to about the mid shaft, and then we would take our orange-red and feather that down from mid shaft to ends. Again, making sure we are feathering the colors together so we're not leaving any harsh lines. Last but not least is going to be our ambient of the light play techniques. This one's going to be the softest technique. So here again, you're going to see our base that has been feathered in and placed about an inch or so out. And then we just take several different colors here. I used green, the green shade, to kind of feather down halfway down the mid shaft, and then finish it off with the yellow. Then I came next to it, and I started with our orange-red, started to feather that down. So you can see the pattern here. There was 3 different shades used, but they were all feathered at different placements on the hair shaft. And again, this just creates a very soft, but very powerful look with these light play techniques. So now that we have talked through the concepts of the cutting and the coloring of Color Zoom 2016, let's now take a look at 2 of the looks, Emma and Caroline, so you can actually see a better example of how these light play techniques and the cutting techniques were put into action. So this is Emma, our first look that we're going to see from the collection. So Emma has an edgy bob, but there's also a change up here. We did an asymmetrical cutout on this side, so it just kind of disrupts, so to speak, that standard one length bob all the way around. And as you can see, the shape of the cut is very rounded and carved into her head shape, but then we use a lot of deep point cutting and slicing to create some movement within, and that will also showcase the color that we did with Emma. So Emma's color was our twilight deep neutral background. We sectioned out where we were going to place the disruptive color techniques first, and then we applied the twilight color to the rest of the hair. Then we took in our triangle section that was created within the round shape of the front fringe area here, and we did the spotlight effect using the green and the yellow color formulations. We did a vertical technique with the spotlight effect. If you remember, I said there was 2 ways to do the spotlight technique, either horizontally or vertically, and with Emma we did the vertical application. So we alternated using the green and yellow within each foil and just feathered them in vertically to make it look very soft but yet still very powerful. And as you can see, when you comb through her fringe, just different, when the light hits it, you can see different plays of the green and the yellow effects. As well with Emma's technique, kind of a little hidden surprise, is back here just behind the cutout of the ear. We also did 2 other foils with doing the same technique, the same spotlight technique with the green and yellow, just to create a little fun and a little pop of color in the back. Again, just to kind of break up this, your standard bob technique. So with this look, we did 5 foiling set pieces in the front here and then 2 in the back. So this was a great way to, again, take a standard or everyday bob look and just shake it up. Again, challenge the expectations of what we think of when we think of a bob, and to create some fun and disruption to it to just spice up our edgy bob. So this is Caroline, our second look from the collection of Color Zoom Disrupt. And Caroline, as you can see, she is a shorter cut with some soft graduation that was built up from the nape all the way up into the crown. And then we left some length up top to create a little bit of fun texture up top. But then we also gave her a very blunt cut out fringe underneath. So for Caroline's color, I actually needed to pre-lighten some of her sections that we were going to be doing the disrupt techniques in. And if you recall, when using Illumin, when we pre-lighten someone, then we must prepare the hair so the Illumin dyes will grab on and take and be very durable and vibrant for our clients. So I did the pre-lightening sections. In the top here, it was just a triangle section that I had carved out. And then I pre-lightened around her fringe area here. Once that was done, like I said, I used Illumin Prepare to prep the hair to accept all the Illumin dyes, again, so we could get that vibrancy and the durability from the Illumin dyes. And then I resectioned out the top triangle of the hair and around the hairline. And between that, her background color was the deep neutral chestnut, as you can see. And then we used 2 different light play techniques on Caroline. The first one around the fringe area is actually going to be the laser technique. So if you remember from earlier, we talked about this one is going to be the bolder of the 3. So this one we tapped in the deep neutral background and then feathered in the disruptive shade from a little bit out from the regrowth area or the base shade and feathered it down mid-shaft to ends. The technique, and we followed that all along the band here, the front hairline. The top part, this was our spotlight technique, and this was done vertically. So we took, it only was 3 foils actually, starting from the back here, working my way forward, and I tapped in my base color, feathered down my yellow, and then integrated the pink next to each side. And again, creating some softness between the colors so we didn't see any harsh lines, but then also not muting them out too much so they were not as powerful as we wanted them to be. So I will say, one of the easiest things I found with Caroline look was to leave a little bit of length in the top here and around her fringe until after I did her color. And then I went back after shampooing her and blow drying her, and then I went in to create more of a blunt fringe and more texture and point cutting into this top area here to create this, to finish off the look for Caroline. If the fringe was too short when we were trying to do our foiling, it would be very hard to grab, so to speak, or get those to stay in the foils. So I would definitely suggest with these blunt fringes or the short fringe areas, to leave a little bit of length. You can always go back and cut your fringe even shorter. And again, as well on the top, left a little bit of length and then came back through and texturized where I wanted to see more movement and play within the color through Caroline's look. Adaptable to the salon life. With the cuts, we saw rounded shapes and carved out shapes with some blunt lines, but with texture built in to give our clients that weightless volume and a lot of movement. And we also saw just kind of fun surprises with the cuts where, you know, again, shaking up what you would normally think of the haircuts with our short blunt fringe underneath in the Caroline, as well as the cutout ear in our Emma, her asymmetrical bob. So with the color techniques, we also saw that we took colors from our existing color portfolio to create beautiful deep neutral backgrounds, and then they were disrupted by existing colors that were combined proportionately in our lumen shades to create these very vibrant tones, again to disrupt our status quo and these deep neutral backgrounds, just to create a little fun and a little pop in these looks. We saw, to create some of these looks, these 3 light play techniques that we learned: the laser, the spotlight, and the ambient. And you saw that we learned to think of it as a light from within, creating this look to, again, add some pop and some light and some vibrancy to our everyday looks. So again, and we saw how just by even the techniques of feathering the colors down from the base color, still, and only putting in, maybe 3 to 5 foils in certain sections, can create this much of a disruption to the look. So I want to thank you for joining me, and hopefully I have helped you better understand the collection of Color Zoom 2016, the Disrupt collection. I want to thank you for listening to me tonight, and hopefully, again, I have given you a better understanding by walking through these techniques and the color formulations, as well as hopefully to inspire you to join our Color Zoom competition, to where you can take these concepts and these looks and create your own, and then enter it into the competition to see, so the world can see what your concept of disrupt is. Thank you again, and for more information you can always visit goldwell.com to look into more education opportunities, as well as our Color Zoom 2016 competition. Thank you.